This is Boy Cat. My first boy. Hello, my name is Hannah. I am a knitter and an artist living in the United States. I have been knitting since about 2012, but I would still consider myself a baby knitter because I really only kind of got super into it in the last couple of years. I made my first garment this year actually, which was very exciting. I was doing a lot of blankets and stuff before, but recently my obsession has been watching other knitters on YouTube with their vlogs and podcasts. So I thought it was about time that I jumped into that myself as I get more projects going. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about a project, my main project that I have going. Oh my God, my main project that I have going right now, which is what I am calling the Buttercup cardigan. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about a recent acquisition and a project that I just started a couple of days ago. So I'm going to cut and get to the introduction of the Buttercup cardigan. I am making good progress on what I am calling the Buttercup bow cardigan. It's actually the Hackett jacket by Riley Ruth. Maybe one of my favorite patterns ever. I filmed this yesterday, but my phone died, so we're gonna try again. Anyway, I am using Hack 11B. Basically, you start with this basic top-down raglan with a 1x1 rib edge cardigan. And then the pattern gives you a bunch of different modifications that you can make. There's like sleeve modifications, all kinds of stuff. But I really wanted to knit an I-cord edge cardigan with an I-cord tie at the top. I found one. Drops released a pattern that was the Delicate Dance cardigan. So cute. So impossible to follow. I should have expected that, but whatever. It was my first drops pattern. So anyway, I frogged that after like 2 days of frustration and like only getting 5 rows in or something, and found this. So basically I'm starting with the base instructions for the cardigan, and then I cast on 3 extra stitches on both front sides to account for I'm not doing the rib. And then after that, you start by immediately working of course, your raglan increases and your, there are short rows in the front for shaping. I thought the instructions so far were really super easy to follow. The only thing I kind of had a little bit of a hard time with was the short rows, and that's just because this is my first time doing short rows. But I did find a really super helpful tutorial on the wrap and turn method that I'll post in the description. And then after that, I basically just highlighted and underlined every turn that it instructed me to do. And then I was still not 100% confident, so I actually just put it into ChatGPT and was like, hey, can you give me a line by line breakdown of exactly what I am supposed to do? And it did. And I double checked, of course, to make sure that was right. But it was so helpful. When I was reading comments on Reddit about how to do short rows, everyone was like, they're not really that hard, but you need to make sure that you can do it all in one sitting, because it can be really easy to forget where you are and go the wrong direction or lose track or whatever. So my ADHD brain simply cannot even keep track in one sitting. So I had it give me a chart, and it was actually so helpful. Basically, it broke down every single short row, and whether it was right or wrong side, whether I was doing my raglan increases, whatever else. And you can see I just kind of checked off as I went. This was great. I actually did half of them one day and half of them the next day, and didn't lose track, didn't have any issues. The only thing I'm not really sure about is there is this part at the top, at the end of the increased rows on both sides, where it kind of looks like if you've crocheted and gone into the same stitch multiple times. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but I'm not super worried about it. I think it looks fine, but beyond that, there's gonna be the I-cord edge, and I think it will cover it. I kind of roll in and cover it. So, or I might even do a rolled edge, I'm not sure. But regardless, I think it'll be okay. I'm actually getting pretty far. I finished all of my short rows, and I am now, let me see, I think I have 9 more raglan increases to go. I have 7 more raglan increases to go. So I have 14 more rows until I can join under the arms, I believe. Pause. Yes, until I can join under the arms. Yeah, I'll look at that later. Anyway, I'm making good progress. So I'm hoping I'll get to at least that point today and then start being able to work on the body. But yeah, I'm making moves. This feels so good. So this is my first time knitting. This is a lot of firsts for me. I had not tried drops yarn before. Actually, I've only done one project before that was even wool. I did a merino. What did I use? Knitting for all of heavy merino on my last project. I'll put a little picture right here, but I did Best Number 1 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Super fun, knitted it for a friend. Super easy, quick knit. I think it took like a week. Anyway, so drops, I purchased this for the drops pattern, so it's not actually 2 gauge. Thankfully, this pattern also offers a hack for what to do when your yarn is a different gauge, or if you need a different size than what the pattern offers, and how you can change gauge for that. So anyway, I am using Drops Flora in, I think this one is Lemonade, but it's color number 26, and I'm holding it with brushed alpaca silk in yellow, and this is color 30. I think, yeah. So I have just finished my first ball of this. I still have about, let's see here, a little bit left. Yeah, I still have a bit left of the Flora. So I'm hoping it'll be enough, because I did buy it for the other pattern. But if not, I'll just get more, I guess. Anyway, the pattern hack for gauge I actually love so much. And the whole thing too is super great. Like, this is the one I'm doing. It tells you in the corner exactly what hacks that they used for the pattern to achieve these changes. So it's super great. So I'm definitely doing the I-cord edges and all that. I already talked about that. But I'm also considering doing the slits in the side like this. I haven't decided yet. TBD. But for gauge, normally this is knit at a gauge, this pattern is knit at a gauge of 17 stitches in each row. I don't know how many rows. But the yarn that I have is 15 stitches, 20 rows is 10 centimeters. So basically you start in the middle, this is what the pattern calls for, and then you can see, okay, well, the yarn I have is this amount. So this is the size I want to knit to achieve this, these dimensions or these measurements. So I'm knitting a size 2, and it should hopefully give me about a 20 centimeter positive ease. I do want it to be pretty oversized, so hopefully, so far it's knitting to about what I expected. So I'm hoping it will work out really well. The pattern seems pretty comprehensive, so I think it will be fine. Yeah, that's basically where I am right now. I'm just gonna crank out some increases in stockinette today. I did get some new notions, or little tool, actually not all notions, but tools, little fun things yesterday. Well, I got some soak or wool wash because I was out, and I do love this stuff. I just had like a little sample packet before. This is wild mint, and it's so good, and you don't have to rinse it. And I'm sure there are just as fantastic ones out there, but I really like this one. And then I got, let's see, let me cover the address. I got a little gauge measurer for your needles, or needle size measurer. I don't know what these are called. Because I have about 15,000 circular needles that I have like 12 that are starting to have the size rubbed off. So I did that. I put my tool inventory into Ravelry. Oh, I got some licky. So I was knitting this project on bamboo needles. It's these ones. On these bamboo needles. They're fine. They're just what I grabbed in a pinch when I needed 5.5mm needles one day. And I like bamboo actually quite a bit, but I prefer it on like cotton. I don't really like to knit any kind of like wool or animal fiber in general with these because they're just too sticky. So I got some licky driftwood. How do you say it? At the yarn store I go to, they call it likey. I've heard licka. I've heard licky. I don't really know. Anyway, some driftwood interchangeables. I got 2 sets because when I go to do the sleeves, I hate magic loop and I also hate double points. And I don't have a small enough. Like, I just find it really frustrating when you can't quite get small enough with your shorties to have the stitches not stretch over. So anyway, I do 2 circular needles to knit my sleeves. Regardless, I got 2 sets of these and another cable as well. So that will be, I think that's the bulk of what I got. I don't think I got anything else. Anyway, that's about it. I got this cutest yarn shop in my little city, and it's just a bunch of older ladies, and they'll sit around on Saturdays and knit at the table, and I love it so much. I actually got this little measurer there, and it's so soft. So yeah, that's it. I also went to, so there's this coffee shop downtown that I always go to, and they just opened, not they, but next door, a bookshop just opened, a used bookstore, and it is the cutest thing I have ever seen. I'll insert some footage. But my friend and I went there yesterday. I did get a couple of books that I'm really excited about. One is called Women Talking, and the other is called Emily something Encyclopedia of Fairies, I think. What is it called? Okay, I got Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I got Women Talking. This actually looks so good. It's a thriller. I'm not gonna ruin it, but and then I've been wanting to read this for a while. It's supposed to have some like academia, enemies to lovers vibes, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep knitting, hopefully make some really good progress today, and I'll check back in when I've made more.
If only I could finish something, run straight through to the end, close a chapter dignified. Dang girl, you did it again. But will it ever be enough when I'm bent on trying to keep it tough? Will I ever settle down, happy with the here and now? When will it ever be enough? Ever be enough? Ever be enough?
All right, I'm back. Okay, so I've made a lot of progress actually. I have not joined in the round. This is a cardigan. I have gotten past the raglan increases is what I'm trying to say. And I am now basically just working on length for the body. I have about, let's see, I did some this morning. I have probably about 15 more centimeters that I need to add to the body, and then I can start working on sleeves. At a certain point, I might just finish these skeins and then, or specifically this Drops Flora skein, and then do the sleeves, and then see how much. Hi, cat. He has claw caps on, but he's trying really hard to shred my desk chair. Anyway, I might just see how much length I can get out of this and then do the sleeves and then come back. Because I did not buy yarn for this pattern, but I don't want to run out. So that's what I'm thinking. So far, so good. I think the shoulder fit is gonna be really nice. I wanted it to be oversized. I think it is gonna be a little bit oversized. And then I think the biggest thing is just gonna be, I might pick up a few extra stitches for the sleeves because I feel like they're gonna be a little bit tighter than I want if I only pick up what is recommended. Can't remember exactly what's recommended. I'll have to look at the pattern, but so far, so good. This yarn does feel really nice. I was kind of hoping I could still wear it for the tail end of spring. This is what happens when I rub my cat on my face. I was kind of hoping I could still wear it for the tail end of spring, but I think it might be a little bit too warm. So it might be okay for like a really cool summer evening maybe, or if I go like somewhere indoors for dinner or something, it'll be fine. I live in a fairly humid climate, and so while I am in the mountains, it gets pretty uncomfy in the summer sometimes. So we'll see. I am excited. I'm hoping I can get this done in the next couple of weeks. I'm kind of at that point where it's very mindless and it's just a whole bunch of stockinette. So it's fine. But the other project I just started is going to be a lot of stockinette for a while as well. So don't know why I did that. I usually don't like to have 2 stockinette projects going at once, but that's okay. I will survive. I am excited to have it done. The other thing I'm working on, this is gonna be loud, is the Taya top. I think it's Taya, it's T-Y-A, by Audrey Brigo Designs. And I'm actually super excited about this. There are not that many Ravelry projects for this pattern, but so far my experience has been really good. The pattern's pretty easy to follow and understand. I'm knitting this with about 13 centimeters of positive ease. So I'm excited. Hopefully, it came out to gauge, so I think it'll be fine. This is what I'm using for the main color. Ooh, what is this? I have to get my Ravelry because I forget the colorways. Let me see here. I am using I am using Knitting for Olive Pure Silk for 2 of the colors. I'm a little bit nervous about this actually. Okay, I am using, for my main color, the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in Ice Blue. Very excited. It is not quite the color that was used in the pattern. The pattern calls for, I think there's a couple different options. In her sample knit, she used the cotton merino, the Knitting for Olive cotton merino in Blueberry Ice Cream. This was out of stock when I went to order, and I also wanted something, I tend to get really hot. I mentioned it's a warmer climate, or at least humid where I live. So I wanted something that was gonna be a little bit cooler than the cotton merino, even though the cotton does help. So I'm using Pure Silk for my main color. And then, if you'll notice, the pattern has 2 bands of color in the middle. So for those, I'm very excited about this actually, and nervous, I'll get to that. I am using, Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in Hokkaido. I don't actually know how to say this. It's color number, well, it doesn't have the color number on here, but anyway, it's this really great orange color. So I think that's gonna be nice. I'm gonna use this for the smaller bands of color that were in the top. And then, this is what I am very excited and very nervous about. I am going to be, and it's probably fine, but I am using cotton merino for the middle band of color rather than the Pure Silk. And I'm using the lime yellow, Knitting for Olive. So it should be something like these. And then obviously another orange and blue on the other side. I am so excited about this color combination. The only thing is I don't know that it's gonna drape exactly the same. I'm just hoping that, I mean, they're the same weight, but they're not the same fiber composition. So I'm just hoping that it drapes okay together. hopefully should be fine. This kind of thing is new to me. Like I'm a big believer, or not believer. I have historically used the recommended yarn pretty exclusively for garments. As I said, I'm new to garment knitting, so I was a little bit scared to do something different. But I think it'll be okay. I just love these colors together. And then the only thing I have done right now, I have started the left shoulder. So I am here in the left shoulder, and I am about to cast on for the right shoulder, and then hopefully finish that today and get the front going a little bit more. Very excited about that. Really want to get that done super soon. My birthday is next month, and I would like to wear it for my birthday. So fingers crossed. We'll see. Anyway, that is the gist of where I am right now, and I will update as I make more progress.
In the morning, when you walk away, my heart drops to the floor. They said it would get easier, but I don't know who for. Days move faster now, I swear. I can feel them slip away. But some things last forever, the love that never fades.
Hello, I'm back. It's been a couple weeks since I've filmed. A lot has happened. A lot of choices have been made, some of which might be mistakes. We'll see. Okay, so starting with the, what did I call this? Buttercup cardigan, I think. I have made progress. I think I have about 6 centimeters left to go on the body before I can start the sleeves, and it's so wrinkled. I'm telling on myself, I haven't touched this in like a week and a half. It's kind of slowly falling to the back burner a little bit because I feel like I just am not going to be able to wear it. It's getting hot already. I'm in a sweater because I keep my house cold, but it's getting really hot. So I'm going to keep working on it. Obviously, I like it a lot so far, but I also just feel like there are more summery things I want to make. So overall though, still going well-ish, other than me not making any progress. Hardly. Okay, and then what else? I also am still working on my tie top, but this has taken years off my life. Okay, the pattern isn't that actually hard to follow. It's pretty decent, but pretty good. I like the pattern. But I simply feel like it's taking me forever. I like working with this yarn. It's like mostly pure silk, and then there's the cotton merino. Still nervous about that. But I've worked with fingering weight yarn before, like a lot with larger items. So I don't really know why it feels like it's taking me so long. But I have made some choices. This is where the possible mistakes come in. I've made some choices. So first of all, I decided that I think I actually want this to be like a tank top vest situation. So I'm not going to do the sleeves. That could change. But right now I'm not going to do the sleeves. I did go ahead and do some ribbing on one of the arms to see how I felt about it. And I think I do like it, actually. You can't really tell. I think it'll block out okay. I haven't done the other one just yet. I just did that one yesterday. And then I've done the neckline. I fear I may have messed up the neckline. I can't really tell. It's folding over. It's just a jersey neckline. I've done a double, not a double knit, but a folded edge for necklines before in rib. I have not done it in stockinette where it just has the one purl row to kind of give it a place to fold. And so I don't know if that's normal and if it will block out, or maybe just a little bit of elastic will fix it. I've decided I'm gonna block first and maybe try elastic if I need to, but it might just be that I didn't stitch it down at the right place or I stitched it too tight. I don't really know. If I take it out, I might try the same neckline again, or I might just embrace ribbing and just do like a folded rib neckline, because there's so much ribbing everywhere else. And I kind of feel like there's a lot going on here because there is cabling on the side that continues down into the bottom, which I'll talk about in a second. And there's also the ribbed bottom and then a jersey neckline. And I feel like I would rather just have just ribbing and cabling rather than a different neckline than the sleeve edges and also cabling and also ribbing. I don't know. Now the back, I have done all of the ribbing on the back. I did do it just a little bit shorter than it called for, but I'm liking where it's hitting me right now, and I feel like it's gonna grow a little bit when I block it. So I don't want it to be too long. I can always take the binding off and just redo that. It's of course cinching in. Again, I think that will block out without problems. I did do a tubular or an Italian tubular bind off. It's a 2x2 rib, so you have to like rearrange your stitches as you go, but it's really not hard. I like an Italian bind off. I feel like that's a controversial opinion. It does take a while, but I do think it's worth the time to do that. There are a couple of twisted stitches and I'm losing my mind, but I'm just like the superstition that and there's like a oh no, that's a slip stitch. Oh well. So the superstition that like you should leave at least one little mistake in your work or it's bad luck. I think that's the superstition. I'm just trying to tell myself that that is what's happening, and I'm making a choice, and I could rip back, but I'm not going to, I think. So that's where I'm at. So far so good. I feel like I made a lot of progress on this since I last came on here. I'm very excited to start casting on, or not casting on, but picking up the front edge or front bottom stitches, because it's like rolling every time I try to see what it looks like. And so I'm excited to get that ribbing done. This ribbing took me forever. It took me like 4 sessions, and I feel like that's probably not that much, but for me, I normally am like, okay, here's this one section. I'm just gonna sit down and get it all done. And I simply could not. And I don't know if I was just bored or what, but I was getting a little bit bored. So anyway, these cables are really simple. This is not my first time doing cabling. Actually, fun fact, ridiculous fact, I don't know why I did this. The very first knitting project I ever did was a cabled, like pretty heavily cabled headband, like ear warmer thing. This was like, I don't know, 13 years ago, a long time ago. And I just don't know where I got the audacity to start my first project being a cabling project. Like, not a simple cable. I mean, it was relatively simple, but it was like multiple types of cables. I don't know. I knew nothing, and I think that that was the benefit. We were not living in the same internet age that we're living in now, and so I didn't know that that was crazy. But I am also kind of a firm believer that you should just knit what you want to knit. Like, okay, you've just picked up knitting needles for the first time, fantastic. Maybe do a couple squares, like get the hang of the stitches, the basic stitches, and then find a project you like and do it. If that's a ranunculus sweater, do it. Like, yes, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but you'll learn from them. Anyway, that's where I am right now. I have, what is today, the 11th? I have exactly 2 weeks to finish the tie top if I want to wear it for my birthday. And then after that, I have multiple things that I want to cast on. And I think I'm actually going to do another video for that specifically. But basically I have cast on fever, and I'm just casting on everything, or wanting to cast on everything, and I need to just finish a project. But anyway, so far so good. Again, all of the patterns I'm using right now seem to be pretty great. But I am feeling impatient and I'm ready to finish this thing. So, anywho, I'll check back in when I finish. She's done. I'm coming to you with a finished tie blouse. I still haven't finished my buttercup cardigan, but this is finished. Overall, I'm very pleased. I did make some changes. There are some things I would change had I known I was gonna make those changes, but overall, I think it's wearable, which is a good thing. So first I was worried about the drape of the cotton merino with the pure silk, but I think it's fine. Like, it does not seem to be giving me any troubles. They kind of drape pretty similarly. I mean, the silk is like a little bit more drapey, but there's such a light weight that it's like fine overall, I think. Things I changed. I did shorten the hem by about 4 or 5 centimeters because I wanted it to be cropped because I'm envisioning wearing it with a couple of skirts that I have. So I wanted it cropped. And then I also decided not to knit the sleeves. This could be a decision that haunts me. I don't know. In my head, when I was knitting, I just kept seeing it as this top with like a short sleeve white t-shirt underneath, almost like a vest, but not quite a vest. And this is probably not the t-shirt I would wear under it. It's a little bit thin, but something like this is what I was envisioning. For some reason, I didn't think about the fact that it's like drop shoulder. So it's kind of a little bit more wide than I would have imagined. Like, before I did the ribbing and before I blocked it, it was not this wide, obviously. And so in my head, I just didn't think about it. Kind of thought about it being right about here. And every time I tried it on before I did the ribbing, it was right out there. I don't know why I didn't consider that would change once I actually finished it. But that's okay. I'm still pretty happy with it. It looks good with and without a t-shirt. Again, I do wish that was resolved, but that's okay. It's okay. I think it still looks fine. I do like that so much more. So probably in the future, if I make this again, I will either knit the sleeves, probably not gonna do that, or I'll just not have as many stitches on the shoulder and I'll make the shoulder a lot less wide. I've never done that, but I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. The pattern itself was great. I really enjoyed the pattern. It was not that difficult to follow at all. Did German short rows for the first time, pretty easy. I do have a couple of mistakes. There's one place where, okay, I guess it's not that big. Here it is. There's one place where I accidentally split my yarn and I didn't realize, and I'm usually pretty good about realizing when that happens, but I totally missed it. So I'm gonna go over it with a duplicate stitch, I think, just to kind of reinforce it and get rid of that little gap. And then I do have somewhere in the back, there's like a twisted stitch in the ribbing, but it's in the back, so it's none of my business. Not really that worried about it. Overall, I really like it. It's super comfortable. It's very lightweight. In my planning for this, I wanted to use as close to the like recommended yarn as I could. It does recommend the cotton merino. And I wanted it to be like a lot lighter and cooler for summer. I live in a really humid climate, and so I'm personally just not trying to wear a lot of like animal fibers or like wools in the summer. Also sensory issues. So anyway, overall though, I really like it. I'm pretty happy with it. I am not sure when my buttercup cardigan is going to be finished. I did start the sleeves 2 days ago, but I only did like 3 rows, so kind of started them and then kind of left. But anyway, this is where I am. I'm pretty happy with it. I keep saying that, but another thing is like the ribbing at the bottom was I was so nervous. It was like this before I blocked, and I was like, this is gonna look awful actually, but it blocks out fine. I did block it twice. I blocked it once after I did the first ribbing on one of the sleeves or armholes, and then just because I wasn't sure that I was liking it, and I was like, I'm not gonna do the other ribbing if I'm just gonna end up hating this top. So I blocked it. I ended up being okay with it, and then I did the other armhole. And actually the bane of my existence is picking up stitches around armholes and neck holes. It's just so freaking annoying, and it's hard, and I feel like I'm gonna break my yarn, and probably that's a skill issue, but it just really drives me crazy. However, I think I'm gonna start blocking my projects before I pick up stitches, because it was so easy for the second armhole after I had blocked it. So I think I'm gonna do that from now on. It was really a great experience. 10 out of 10. Anyway, my phone's about to die, so I'm gonna end there, I think. I'll probably update, or I'll definitely update my buttercup cardigan in the next video. Let me know if this format's okay. Like, this was very scattered. I kind of started this thinking it was just gonna be one project vlog, and then I kind of was all over the place. But the thing about me is I simply cannot have yarn in stash. When I get yarn, it's gotta be cast on like immediately, because it's all I will think about if I don't. And I do kind of like having projects that I can go back and forth between. I try not to let myself have more than 2 or 3 at a time, but I like having a few so that if I'm bored with one, I can go to the other. And I will say, I think that's the reason I finished this blouse, is because I had a blanket, I had a baby blanket, and the buttercup cardigan, and another like scarf wrap thing going at the same time. So when I got bored of one, I could go and do the other, and I think it really helped me. But anyway, that's it. I'm gonna close off here. I will be back next time, and I hope you enjoyed.